your trophy here, guys. Thank you, congratulations, big up applause. And let's go for the champagne. Maintenant la vitesse dans les cabines pour la dernière coupe de samedi.
Good afternoon everybody and a very warm welcome to Le Castellet for round 9 of the TCR Europe Championship. That's right, we're at Paul Ricard. The sun is beginning to set here on what has been an incredibly warm day in France, and we're about to get even hotter indeed. Track temperature 42 degrees, humidity 41%, and an air temperature of a relatively cool 28 degrees greets our cars on the grid as they're making the final preparations before we go forward and do the first race of the weekend here at TCR Europe. This is round 9 and 10 will follow on tomorrow morning. What we hope and expect will be a very exciting race indeed. Qualification took place a little bit earlier on today, and we have got a stacked field of exciting drivers in championship contention right at the front of the grid. We've got a returning driver as well, Nico Baldan, now racing for ComTU Racing. Car number 8, the Italian driver, second on the Castellet entry list, comes into the championship for the second time this season, having made his return to TCR Europe at Portimao for round 1 for Aggressive Team Italia. He's now in the Audi at ComTU. Expect big things from him. Our 2017 champion, Aurélien Comte, also back for SP competition in the Cupra with a new driver as his teammate, Sacha Botterman, joining him for an all-French outfit here in France at Paul Ricard. Expect both of those drivers to be competitive, but no doubt all eyes are on this man here at Paul Ricard, racing in front of a home crowd, fighting for the 2023 TCR Europe Championship and putting the car on pole position. That is John Philippi. A great lap this morning, managed to beat his teammate Tom Coronel, who we all know is an absolute beast around this French circuit. Philippi gets the car on pole position. Championship leader Tom Coronel lines up alongside him in second position. A man who came away from this morning's session perhaps a little bit disappointed would be this man, Kobe Powles. Speaking to him after the session, he expected better than third and heading up the second row of the grid, but he knows he's got the natural pace in himself and the car, so he'll be looking to charge forward as the session unfolds. That man returning to the series, Nico Baldan, delighted to be back in TCR Europe, delighted to be behind the wheel of the Audi for ComTU Racing. He was an impressive fourth in qualification. Remember, Baldan only really drove the car in TCR Italy for the last 4 rounds in 2022, so he's got a little bit of learning to do, but still expecting to be at the sharp end of the grid. We just saw there Aurélien Comte in 5th position, as I say, the 2017 champion, and then a very young man, this Estonian, Ruben Volt, that we've got for ALM Motorsport. He lines up in a very competitive qualification. He's 7th on the grid, but he will expect him to move forward a little bit. Victor Davidovski, that we're looking at there, another one of the ComTU drivers. Davidovski, he's had a good session. He won here last time around, so he'll be hoping that potentially some of the 2022 form can come his way as the race progresses. Lewis Brown, another driver that ended qualification a little bit frustrated, a little bit disappointed in the Volcano Motorsport Audi. He's 8th on the grid, but he feels that there's more pace in that Audi, and as can be seen by the ComTU cars ahead, that rings very, very true heading into this race. Levente Lasonche that you're looking at on the grid here for the Aggressive Team Italia, the Hyundai Elantra NTCR. He lines up 10th today. Anybody who follows the world of TCR Europe will know very well indeed. 10th today means pole position tomorrow. So Lasonche has a big opportunity to get his best result in TCR Europe. He's had a bit of an on-off career in the series. Came in last season, got himself injured towards the end of the year and missed the last couple of rounds. And now this is, in effect, the first full championship year for Levente, so he'll be hoping for a big result to kickstart his career, and that's another one of our new drivers in the Cupra. That is Sacha Botterman, that comes from the world of GT4 racing and is making his debut in TCR cars, in touring cars in general, here this weekend. He's raced successfully at Paul Ricard a number of times, so he'll be hoping for a good result. So let's have a look at our starting grid. John Philippi from Tom Coronel are our front row. Kobe Powles and Nico Baldan will start in 3rd and 4th position. Aurélien Comte is just ahead of Ruben Volt in 5th and 6th. Victor Davidovski lines up in 7th, and just behind him is the British driver Lewis Brown for Volcano Motorsport. Victor Anderson in the Lincoln Co Generation 1 is 9th, just ahead of Levente Lasonche. Dusan Borkovic is 11th ahead of Marco Butte. Then we've got Daniel Kachenko in 13th, and rounding out our field is debutant Sacha Botterman in 14th position. And remember, Botterman knows this circuit, although he doesn't know TCR touring cars. That could be an advantage when we get into racing conditions. Now, having spoken extensively to the drivers over the course of this weekend, we are in the middle of a heat wave in Europe, and that is absolutely no exception here at Paul Ricard. The temperatures all weekend have been exceptionally high, in the mid 30 degrees centigrade. Drivers are concerned how that's going to impact the balance of the car and the wear of the tyres over the course of this 10 race stint. We've seen a lot of drivers in free practice using old tyres, going for longer than usual stints out on track to try and get an idea of the wear characteristics and how the car is likely to behave over a longer run than they would traditionally do in free practice conditions. Several of the drivers are saying that they're finding this quite an interesting experience. It requires a little bit more racing intelligence to make sure the tyres stay alive, the car stays alive, and everything is in a prime position for the latter stages of the races. This adds an element of jeopardy for the likes of us at home and myself in the commentary box to keep in consideration. Do you go hard at the start of the stint and risk some fade in lap time towards the end? Or do you manage your pace in the hope that you're in a strong position coming to the final few laps? Throw into the mix potential for a safety car, that's not unknown here at Paul Ricard. And what we've got is the ingredients of a very exciting 10-lap race in front of us. If you're watching this on the TCR TV app, welcome to you. It's great to see that you're joining the TCR TV app. It's free to register, and of course it contains a wealth of touring car races, not just here in TCR Europe, but for TCR around the world. If you've not joined the TCR app and you're watching this on YouTube, well, welcome to you as well. Please do consider heading over there, getting that app downloaded, registering and taking part. It's a great initiative. See the TCR Europe points after qualification. Tom Coronel is our championship leader, 41 ahead. Teammate John Philippi, Kobe Powell's watching, lurking in the background in third position, 52 away from Coronel, but just 11 away from Philippi. Powell knows he is quick this weekend. He knows he's got an opportunity, not just in this race now, starting behind his two rivals, but of course tomorrow as well, where he'll be in front of them on the grid and has a big chance to score some points. Victor Anderson in 7th position. He is a debutant in touring car racing and TCR Europe, the sole Lincoln Co. 0-1 in the field. Anderson, a driver that's shown considerable speed this season, but has been mired in absolutely horrendous fortune. He's had mechanical failures, he's had incidents that's not of his own making. So for Anderson, starting down in 9th position and second on the grid tomorrow, this is another opportunity for him to potentially kickstart the point scoring as we go into the back half of this championship. Cars circulating, led by John Philippi for the formation lap. If you're new to the world of TCR racing, welcome to you. To give you an idea of what will happen next, we do standing starts in TCR. This race will last for 10 laps. Should we have any kind of safety car period, we can add an additional 2 laps to the race distance should we so desire, but let's keep our collective fingers crossed that we don't have that problem and we can have a clean, a safe, a fast and exciting race to the checkered flag with John Philippi leading the field. Tom Coronel, he's been playing the game this season. He knows that this is a strong race for him and the car is coming into here with very little weight on board. Second would have frustrated the Dutchman, it's fair to say, in qualifying. Expect Tom Coronel to be very, very strong and very aggressive in these opening laps. If you're John Philippi, you do not want to see that car alongside you because you know Coronel is hungry for the 2023 TCR Europe Championship, and this is a good opportunity for a big haul of points for that Dutch driver. But John Philippi racing at home on a track that he likes in a car that is strong will be quite the competition indeed. Bottom man at the back of the field now, just lining up in position as our cars are getting ready to go racing. In a few moments' time, we'll see a green flag at the back of the grid that will tell us everything is good and safe and ready to go. There are the lights at the top of your screen. Those lights are going to come on in order. And in a few moments' time, we are going to go racing for TCR Europe Round 9 at Paul Ricard. Go! John Philippi at the front of the field gets a lightning start start. Coronel, not like Tom Coronel, bogged down off the line. Now he is being sandwiched by Kobe Powles and Nico Baldan as well. Coronel with the red flashes at the front of the car, drops a second. Baldan around the outside, that becomes the inside, takes the position away from Kobe Powles. 2 gains off the line for Italian driver Nico Baldan. Aurelian Comte running a little bit wide onto the blue and red rumble strips, but no drama there. The Cupra stays on the circuit just a little bit further back. Victor Davidowski and Ruben Volt side by side as we see Botterman going for a run around the outside of the circuit. There is the Cupra coming back on the racetrack once again. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Kachenko at the back of the field becoming a little bit detached as well in the Volcano Motorsport car. But at the front of the field, John Philippi is our race leader from Nico Baldan. Kobe Powles in 3rd position. Tom Coronel all the way down in 4th place. Aurelian Comte in 5th, and Victor Davidowski, another driver with a good start, up into 6th position. Long run down the straight here at Paul Ricard. Heavy braking into the chicane. Not really a premium overtaking opportunity for these drivers. And as you can see, we are nose to tail. Tachenko to the back of the field is just a little bit further away than he would like to be, as Victor Anderson as well. Another driver not getting the best of starts. He's down in 11th position. Remember, he started in 9th at the beginning of this race. So not a good start for Victor Anderson at the front of the field, though. Nico Baldan is hungry to find a way past, and there is Sasha Botterman on his debut, not even making it round the opening lap. The Cupra to the side of the race, and sadly into retirement for the SP competition driver. So this is fascinating now. Will Nico Baldan, he's not here for the full season. He doesn't have to worry about a championship or any of those kind of dramas. Baldan's here for himself. He is here to win the race, and he's applying now the pressure to John Philippi. Massive pressure indeed is the Italian driver applying. Coronel further back, trying to recover ground. He'll not like one bit the fact his young teammate Kobe Powles has found a way past off of the line. So Coronel, I predicted he would be aggressive on the start. Now he needs that more than ever, having had that difficult run off of the line down in 4th position. Not what the doctor ordered for Tom Coronel. Aurelian Comte keeping a watching brief as well, as again Nico Baldan at the front of the field, again looking every which way he can behind the rear of that number 27 of John Philippi. Baldan, he wants this one, mark my words, he is here to win. Daniel Tkachenko in pit lane, so there we go, the Volcano car. We saw him becoming a bit detached at the rear of the field, and that is now down pit road for Tkachenko. So disappointing start for the Volcano driver. Hopefully the mechanics can get that one back out on track and we can go racing once again for Daniel Tkachenko, because the more laps he puts in, the more experience he gains and the stronger he will be further on into the season and moving forward into 2024. Running down the back straight again, Coronel still in the slipstream. Kobe Powell saw need to go to the inside line a little bit just to cover it off, just to let Coronel know there's going to be no opportunity to find a way past at this stage. And at the moment, Coronel too far detached from his teammate Powell to really affect an overtake at this stage. Same for Nico Baldan. He's dropped back a couple of thousandths of a second from John Philippi, and that's going to start putting him outside of the good slipstream window, making it all the more difficult to find a way to drag himself to the back of that Audi. And remember, Baldan not really used to driving this Audi. We know him more from the Hyundai Elantra N TCR from aggressive Team Italia that we saw at the start of the season in Portimao, and of course the TCR Italian Festival as well. So Baldan, is it got a bit of a disadvantage, it's fair to say, to those around him at this moment in time, but his experience, his skill, more than making up for that one at the moment as he runs in 2nd position. Winding our way through now the final corners. Coronel again back on the back of Kobe Powell. So this suggests the 3rd sector here at Paul Ricard. Coronel has a little pace advantage over teammate Belgian driver Kobe Powell's ahead, but there's not really any premium overtaking opportunities at that stage in the race. What Coronel needs to do is concentrate on these first couple of sectors, stay within touching distance of Kobe Powell's to put himself in a good position as we get towards the fast and then the technical at the end of the lap. A brilliant comp that we're looking at there with the black and red wheels. That's an interesting colour decision for the Cupra driver, but he's holding on quite nicely indeed in 5th position. The only Cupra car, the only SP competition car left in this race as Bottomman headed into retirement on the opening tour. So good return for our 2017 TCR Europe champion, holding ground with our front runners at this moment in time, as we've got a 4 realistically car squabble for race victory in the front of the field. Then it's a brilliant comp, somewhat on his own in 5th position, and then the next battle pack, so to speak, is Victor Davidovsky, as again Pauls covers the inside line, but again Coronel doesn't have enough overlap, isn't close enough to think about getting into the braking zone and giving Kobe Powell something to think about through the chicane and the following turns here at the Castellet circuit, the circuit Paul Ricard, under sweltering conditions for TCR Europe, round 9 of the championship. Powell's covering one way and then the other, trying to break the slipstream of Coronel behind, trying to telegram to Tom Coronel that I'm not going to allow you past the brilliant comp we saw there in the background, getting very close to falling outside of track limits. Those little flappies at the end of senior just dictate where the racing line is, and in a TCR touring car, the car is very much on the edge of balance in that corner, and then into Bousset as well. You've got to be very accurate, very cautious on the wheel, on the brakes, keep the momentum, keep the car nice and stable. And at this moment in time, Aurelien Comte is a little bit ragged in that car, and that's bleeding lap time away as the Cupra gets ever more detached from this 4-car fight at the front of the field. Cars 78 and 7, contact at T2 under investigation. Car number 78, of course, is Sasha Bottomman that we saw going into retirement, and car number 7 is Daniel Kachenko that has been down pit lane but is back out on the racetrack again. So that explains a little bit where that drama came from and why they were so detached from each other, and why we saw, unfortunately, Sasha Bottomman coming down into retirement in this race. Hopefully we get another look at that one a little bit further on. But look here, Tom Coronel, the Tricorp car, the black machine with the red stripes. Now he is in attack mode. Kobe Powell's in the blue and a luminous yellow car is under pressure. Make no mistake about it. Tom Coronel's been racing for 34 years. He won here at the FIA Motorsport Games at the end of last year. He won here from pole position in TCR Europe. He's admitted this is a circuit that just suits his driving style. He came into this weekend, no preparation, not looked at onboard laps, not gone through any data, just got in the car and drove the wheels off it. And now Coronel has got a lot of work to do, but he's looking much more menacing in that number 34 machine. Keep your eye on this one. Coronel is lining up and overtaking. Kobe Powell's will know better than anybody as his teammate at ComTU Racing that when Tom Coronel is in this mood, he's a very difficult man to resist indeed. Keep an eye out for that one as Ruben Volt now looks to the inside. Can the Honda ALM Motorsport driver find a way past Victor Davidovsky? Not on this occasion. We don't want to be going too wide through senior. In reality, and Ruben Volt decides discretion is the better part of valour as he continues to follow that Audi round, looking for the opportunity. And just back from there, Lewis Brown keeping a watching brief in 8th position. Brown not quite close enough yet, but is very interested in how this battle unfolds over the course of the next few corners, because while they squabble, opportunities often tend to arise. Looking again at this Davidovsky and Volt battle. Now the ALM Motorsport driver seems very close. Indeed, throws it down the inside into the final corner. Ruben Volt, last of the late breakers, caught Victor Davidovsky napping. Davidovsky quick on the reaction though, gets a good launch through the final turn as we run down into the first corner. Gets the deal done, in fact, in a straight line with Davidovsky. That was opportunistic from Ruben Volt, but didn't have quite enough to get it finished. But that is marking his intention. Victor Davidovsky be on high alert, sunshine, because Ruben Volt wants to find a way past. And those two squabbling, look how it's brought Lewis Brown into the equation. The Volcano Motorsport driver keeping an eye on what's happening. The more they fight, the closer he gets, the better the opportunity to find his way up into what will be a very impressive 6th position if he can just clear those two cars ahead. Already we're on half distance, lap 5 of 10 here at Circuit Paul Ricard in France for TCR Europe Round 9 of the championship. John Philippi still leads by 7/10 of a second from Nico Baldan, with Kobe Powles and Tom Coronel locked in battle behind. But let's have a look at this audacious pass from Ruben Volt in the Honda, following Davidowski, no sign of an overtake, and then quickly off at the brakes, release the brakes again, get the car turned in, pass made, but Volt, by nature of going so tight into the corner and so late on the brakes, just compromises corner exit. That allows Victor Davidowski to do the switchback, gets on the power earlier, uses the grunt of the Audi to retake that position again before we got to the braking zone. So wise driving from Victor Davidowski, but Ruben Volt showing he's not afraid to get those elbows down and make the big moves. Fantastic stuff from the Estonian man in the ALM Motorsport Honda Civic. If only there was an onboard television for Nico Baldan so he could have seen what Ruben Volt did there, because he needs some of that inspiration himself in second position if he's going to try to prize away this victory from the grip of John Philippi at the front of the field. Baldan, he's matching the lap times, lap for lap. Last time around, in fact, Philippi was half a tenth of a second, just under, quicker than Nico Baldan. So they're very similar on pace, but Baldan needs to get closer to the back of that car of number 27 of Philippi ahead. And once it does, he needs to make the move. But Ruben Volt, again side by side with Davidowski, again. Davidowski has the overlap, will retake that position, but Volt is much closer this time, keeping the car to the outside line for the run into T1. Ruben Volt, can he do anything on the brakes? Davidowski gets squirrely on the braking. Ruben Volt has the inside, Ruben Volt has the position, runs a little bit deep, that gives Davidowski an opportunity to try and cut back. Lewis Brown hanging on like a cheap suit, just won't let go. In the background as well, does Brown have an opportunity now? Side by side with Davidowski into the second chicane. Lewis decides, don't fancy my chances on that one. Better to get the overlap, better to get the run a little bit later on. And now, eventually, at the second time of asking, Ruben Volt gets the deal done, and Victor Davidowski has gone from defending against a Honda to defend against another Audi, but this time of Volcano Motorsport, and Lewis Brown snapping at his heels, 7th and 8th position. Superb bit of driving there, so let's have a look what Ruben Volt did to get the deal done. It's a mirror image of what we saw on the previous lap. Throws the car to the inside, learnt his lesson this time, tries to crowd the inside line, gets a much better launch off of the corner. That gives him the advantage, and that's why he could stay with Davidowski for the run down into T1 and get the deal done. So fabulous bit of driving from Ruben Volt. Very little experience he has in TCR Europe, but that does not matter at all. This Honda is going well here at Paul Ricard, and Ruben Volt is maximising what he can get out of that machine for this race, and he's now in 6th position. Davidowski demoted to 7th. Lewis Brown sniffing around in the background, and look there, car number 264, Levent Taylor Sonche in the aggressive Team Italia machine, courtesy of all of these dramas, has started to slowly reel in the pack ahead and trying to buy into this fight for himself and get involved. Great stuff further down the path. Going back to the front of the field, though, Tom Coronel is still circulating behind teammate Kobe Powles. Kobe Powles is still covering the inside line, not giving Coronel the opportunity to find a way past, but Coronel gets a good launch off of the final turn, following in the wheel tracks of the 22 ahead. Powles seems to have a little bit more. He's got an answer for Coronel on the acceleration phase out of that final corner. That's putting him in good stead for the braking zone into T1, and Coronel needs to think long and hard about how he is going to affect this overtake, because at the moment it's looking like Kobe Powles is in control, albeit not quite fast enough to break away from his Dutch teammate, but certainly has all the bases covered, and Coronel's going to have to dig deep into his extensive experience book in touring car racing if he wants to find a way past his Belgian teammate and championship rival Kobe Powles in 3rd position. Last time around, John Philippi clocked a 2:13.991 behind Nico Baldan, a 2:14.1014. So again, separated by very little in terms of lap time, but Baldan needs to find a few more tenths of a second if he's going to do anything about getting on the back of that number 27 coming in to the final stages, lap 7 of 10. This is the area that we're expecting to see a little bit of performance drop off in these cars, courtesy of the temperatures, and this now is going to be very interesting to see who is in better shape coming into the final portion of this race, who's been saving their performance to extract it now with the opportunity of taking some advantage away. Fastest man on the racetrack at this moment in time is Tom Coronel in 4th position, so he currently has the pace in the Tricoat black and red Audi from Contieu Racing. His 4th position on track. Of course, he's got the advantage of a slipstream from teammate Kobe Powell's ahead, but that's no benefit to Tom Coronel. He doesn't want a slipstream, he wants clear racetrack. He will be kicking himself for a suboptimal start, started second on the grid, expected to launch well and challenge teammate John Philippi into the first corner. Quite the opposite though, the car bogged down, swallowed up by his teammates, and now 4th position. It's not a critical dent, shall we say, to Tom Coronel's championship, although rival Philippi, as Nico Baldan goes to see the outside retaining barrier, manages to avoid any contact, I think, so no harm, no foul, but you don't want to be doing that one too many times. You pick up all the rubbish on your tyres, you're losing grip, and also you're attracting the attention of the stewards for track limits, so Nico Baldan needs to be on his best behaviour for these final few tours of this Paul Ricard circuit. But back to Tom Coronel. This is a bleed of points that he doesn't need in his championship challenge. As I say, he came into this with an eye on this weekend much earlier in the season. He's made sure that the car is good for weight. It's very late on the brakes and runs deep, almost collects the back of teammate Powell's, but this is a weekend that Coronel very much expected there would be an opportunity to score big results. I'm just seeing on my timing screen as well, at turn 2, car number 7, that is Daniel Kachenko, appears to have stopped on circuit. So Kachenko, that we saw in pit lane, having yet more strife at the back of the field. Hopefully that car's out of harm's way and we can keep racing through to the checkered flag, lap 8 of 10, of course, here at Paul Ricard. A little drama for Nico Baldan in the final turn. Look how much that's cost him. He's starting to drop off the back of Philippi, and if anything, he's almost coming under threat of Kobe Powell's behind. And Powell's doesn't need that. Powell's does not need a battle in front of him. He's fully concentrated on keeping Coronel behind. If you've got another car in front dictating your pace, dictating your line, and perhaps meaning you have to compromise entry to some corners to stay in a fair racing distance away from that car, that will be opportunity for Coronel. And if you've got a driver like Tom Coronel, fill in the rear view mirrors of your car. That requires 100% of your concentration. You do not want to be thinking about anything else other than keeping that car behind. But Kobe Powell's doing great work. Don't forget, Kobe Powell, first season in touring car racing this year. He came as the RX3 European Rallycross champion, came into touring cars, and it has to be said, has picked up the sport incredibly quickly, and already has proven to himself, still in his teenage years, has proven to himself and to the world that he's a force to be reckoned with in tin top touring car competition. He's a name, mark my words, that you will be hearing, reading and seeing a lot about touring cars for the years to come. But right here, right now, almost a change of the guard as the previous generation, headed by Tom Coronel. These two are in battle royale for this 2023 championship. And trust me, Coronel may be 51, but he's got a good few competitive years left in him yet, and he's looking for this championship. He wants to maximise the score, take home another trophy, and get on the podium at Paul Ricard. But he's only got 2 laps in which to do it. Can he find a way past? So 8 laps in the book. We're on our 9th tour of the circuit. John Philippi is our race leader from Nico Baldan. 1 second covers our top 2 drivers. Kobe Powell and Tom Coronel, the well looking at on screen, continue their fight for 3rd and 4th position. Aurélien Comte has had the most boring race in his entire career. Good start, got 5th position, not quick enough to stay with the top 4. quicker than the chasing pack behind. He's marking in the SP competition. Cooper car marking out a bit of tarmac for himself with absolutely nothing to do other than bring the car over the line. Ruben Volt, pass of the day on Victor Davidovsky, earned him 6th position. That's where he remains. 1.4 seconds is the advantage over Davidovsky that he's managed to wring out of that Honda in the last couple of laps. And Lewis Brown now 1.1 away from Davidovsky in 8th position. So that battle seems to have petered out a little bit in the final few moments of this race, and with 2 laps to go, it is very much game on for 3rd. This is where the action's at. Tom Coronel very, very late on the brakes, using all of the pace of that car, almost collecting the back, in fact, of Kobe Powell's, but they still stay as one through this twisted technical final section of the lap here at Paul Ricard. And Coronel wants to stay in those wheel tracks, needs to be as close as he possibly can to find a sneaky way past in the braking zone, if at all possible, because same car, same team, similar setups. He's not going to do it in acceleration, he's not going to do it in top line speed, he's got to do it under brakes, using all the guile that he's got. Coronel now looks to the outside line. That's not really where you want to be. Switches to the inside line, flashes the lights as well, tries to unsettle the car ahead. But Coronel not close enough as John Philippi serenely, it has to be said, at the front of the field, takes the white flag to start his final lap of this race. Only a few select corners to go for Coronel here at the Paul Ricard circuit. The track's only got 15 turns anyway, and a few of those are overtaking opportunities, but this has got to be something special from Coronel if he wants to find a way past. Will he be satisfied with 4th position? Absolutely not. Coronel likes trophies, but for his championship, this is not a bad points lead to the drivers in front. We've got another race tomorrow anyway, so maybe a little bit of big picture thinking is going to come into Tom Coronel's consideration, or maybe it's going to be absolutely all guns blazing on the final lap. The lights are ablaze in Coronel's number 34 Audi machine, but just not close enough again to Kobe Powell's. Powell's again keeps the car nice and tidy, not being too aggressive, not being too dramatic, just using the full width of the racetrack, being conservative. A mistake is Kobe Powell's worst enemy at this stage in the race. Just got to keep it clean as we come through the fastest corner at Paul Ricard Senior. Incredible in any car, stay within the confines of the racetrack. There we do into Bousset now, very difficult in a front wheel drive machine. The car's wanting to push wide all the time, the rear is wanting to step out. You've got to modulate the brake, you've got to make sure that you're conservative with your steering inputs to keep the car nice and smooth, and a short acceleration burst into a long radius left-hander. Another corner, very, very easy to get wrong. Concentrate on corner exit, get a good launch for this really, really quick right-hander as we accelerate again through an almost meaningless chicane and into the final section, the final few corners of this lap. Coronel's not close enough, but at the front of the field, John Philippi from pole position. He got the start he needed, he ran away with it at the front of the field, and John Philippi is our winner in TCR Europe Round 9. Flashes the lights in front of the home crowd. That is exactly what the French driver needed for his championship charge, and that is as good a win as you're likely to see. Nico Baldan comes back with a bang for 2nd position, and Kobe Powell and Tom Coronel almost has one across the line in 3rd and 4th position. Aurelien Comp in 5th, Ruben Bolt in 6th, Davidovsky 7th, Lewis Brown in 8th, and Levente Lasonche in 9th position. Superb stuff there. We just saw Franco Girolami, our 2022 champion. He's doing some driver coaching with Victor Davidovsky. He'll be pleased with 7th position for his man, and a 1, 2, 3, 4 for Comte as there. We see Philippi waving to the crowd in cameras, picking up some marbles on his tyres just to make sure the car meets its weight criteria and height as well, scrutineering, and of course always something these cars have to do after every session to make sure everything's above board before we can make the results final. But these are our provisional points. Philippi now, with that victory, closes the gap to Coronel to just 28 points. Kobe Powell's closes it to 49. With a race tomorrow and then another 2 rounds to go, this is game on in the championship. John Philippi looked a little bit all at sea, it has to be said, at Pau earlier in the season. and he's just redoubled his efforts since then, and he's coming on very, very strong indeed. Car number 27 hasn't given up this championship fight at all. If Tom Coronel thought he was going to have an easy run to the flag, this was going to be the wake-up call for the Dutchman. He knows now he's got a fight on his hands. Philippi, very experienced, very quick driver. Kobe Powell's seems to have all the natural speed in the world. He's within touching distance as well. It's 40 points for a race victory. One bad weekend for you, one good weekend for your rivals. All of a sudden you're in a deficit position. So this is going to be one that we keep our eye on as the season unfolds. This championship, ladies and gents, at home, it's just gone up another couple of marks. We have got a race to the end of the season for sure. Our field now coming round the track, going to go down into Parc Fermé for the podium celebrations. But before we do that one, let me just remind you all, of course, we've got another race tomorrow, Sunday the 23rd of July. It's going to be on at 12 CEST on the TCR TV app, the TCR TV YouTube channel. So make a little note in your diary. Anybody who knows touring car racing always knows the second race is absolutely crazy compared to the first one. So expect tomorrow to be quite the thriller indeed. A reverse grid top 10 with Levente Lasonche starting on pole position. And these are your results as they cross the line. Provisionally, John Philippi is a race winner from Nico Baldan. Kobe Powell's rounds out the podium positions from Tom Coronel. Aurelian Comte on his return finishes in 5th place ahead of Ruben Volt. Victor Davidovsky in 7th. Lewis Brown finishes in 8th position ahead of Levente Lasonche and Victor Anderson after an incredibly disappointing race, finishes in 10th. Daniel Tkachenko into retirement, as well as Sasha Botterman. They came together in the opening stage of the race. Both cars failed to survive. And these are our points, 28 away. John Philippi put himself very much in the pound seats in 2nd place behind Tom Coronel. Kobe Powell's keeping on there as well in 3rd place. Dusan Borkovic is just a few points ahead of Victor Davidovsky in 4th and 5th position, so that's a good little battle forming there as well. Davidovsky fancies his chances of making a Continue Racing 1, 2, 3, 4 in the championship standings, and Nico Baldan fancies his chances of having a big pat on the back from his teammates and team, because that was a lovely race indeed from the Italian driver, coming back into TCR Europe, first race in the Audi 4 Continue in TCR Europe, and delivers a sensational 2nd position, all from that incredible launch off of the line. John Philippi may have been the fastest man on track today, but he's certainly not the fastest out of the car, as he's taking a few moments to savour the victory. And Philippi, it means a lot to him to be racing on home soil. It means a lot to him to be starting to lift his performance into the second part of the season and really put the pressure on in the championship as he gets the congratulations and handshakes from the team. It's been a good race, this, for John Philippi. It's been a very, very strong performance. Made no mistakes, delivered exactly what he needed to do for the Beast there. Congratulating team boss, saying good job, well done, Nico Baldan. Getting plenty of backslapping and handshakes as well. It's great to have Nico back in the championship. Lovely guy. Doesn't speak much English, so we don't converse much apart from shaking of hands and winks and thumbs up, but he's a really good guy and a really, really strong racer, and it seems like that Audi absolutely is suiting Nico Baldan. Exchanging a few words with our race winner there as Philippi gets ready to take off the helmet, take off the hands device and the fireproof balaclava as well. And trust me, it's very warm out there, so these guys and girls that race in these conditions are absolute top level athletes to be able to not just function but to perform at such an incredibly high level. And Philippi certainly looks like a man who's had a good day's work out there. Immediately into the debrief with his team. Even before we've done the podium celebrations, he'll be keen to offload that hat, spray a bit of champagne, and no doubt jump into the little bit of a pool at the back of Continue Racing. So let's have a look at some of the highlights of round 9 at TCR Europe. A great race has kept the track crowds entertained in incredibly warm temperature conditions. Bad start for Coronel allowed Nico Baldan through into 2nd position. John Philippi at the front of the field relentless in his charge for fighting for position. Ruben Volt getting heavily involved with Victor Davidovsky, not once but twice. Eventually Ruben Volt came through and took that sixth position away. The Continu cars at the front of the field in formation were fighting for that first, second, third and fourth position. Coronel was the last of the four drivers, still the championship leader, but with a much reduced championship advantage. A couple of retirements from the race, courtesy contact. Tichenko and Bottoman both leaving this event early with contact on the opening lap. But at the front of the field, it was Continu. It was John Philippi, and it was a commanding victory from Nico Baldan and Kobe Powell's rounding out the podium positions. Great performance from all concerned. Everybody down on pit lane. Now the temperature's got a little bit calmer as we're getting into the later stages of the day. 7:40 local time, CEST, about 27, 28 degrees centigrade. So it's a little bit cooler now, a little bit more workable for the drivers and for the teams as we wait for our top three to get themselves up on that podium to receive their trophies and bottle champagne and to celebrate what was a very nice opening race of the weekend. We've waited all day for it. It was worth the wait though. A good race from all concerned, an exceptional race from these three drivers. Kobe Powell's there that we're looking. Coming down the back, Paulo Ferreira, the promoter of TCR Europe, shaking hands with our podium finishers before they get onto the stage to receive their trophies and the acclaim of the crowds and teams below. See Nuno just sorting the trophies out, drivers getting directions of where they need to go and how the procedure needs to unfold. A few last minute checks and changes. A little bit of a sip of water, keep yourselves hydrated in these conditions. And it has been a really, really good race from these three drivers. Very strong performance from all three of them. And hopefully, at home, you've enjoyed that one, either on the TCR TV app or the TCR TV YouTube channel. As I said earlier, date in your diary for Sunday, 12 CEST, but we do it all again for the second and final race of the weekend. But let's enjoy these celebrations now. That is the podium. That is Kobe Powell's in third position, bottom step of the podium. Good result for the championship charger. Second position, Nico Baldan. Outstanding result for the returning driver. But the biggest cheer of the day goes to this man, John Philippi, our race winner, pole position, looked untouchable during the race. And there we go, Continu Racing as well come to take the accolades of what has been a dominant race.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, guys.
French national anthem on French soil to celebrate the French driver winning the TCR Europe Round 9 here at Paul Ricard. Now it's time for the trophies. Paulo Ferreira handing them out. Third place for Kobe Powell and also the winner of the Rookie Trophy Award. So a double trophy haul for Kobe Powell for a good start to his racing weekend. Nico Baldan came in, got second position with a great result, great drive, great performance, and then he receives his trophy for that position, not for rookie, but also for the Diamond Trophy. So 2 trophies for Nico Baldan as well. And ironically, second and third position get 2 trophies, but our race winner is getting the singular one for victory, the one that matters the most. the outright race winner, and then a trophy for ComTU as well as the winning team. And that means absolutely everything to all of those drivers. We're going to have a family photo in a few moments' time. Nico Baldan's not bothered about that one. He wants to get champagne spraying. There we go. Been out of practice is Nico Baldan in the podium at TCR Europe, but he's back again, and now he's going to spray the champagne, and as all is left is for me to thank you all for joining us on this broadcast. It's been a pleasure to have you with us, and come back again tomorrow at 12 o'clock CEST for round 10. Take care and bye-bye.